Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what's the next? What we need to do? Just keep looking at the email.
Yes. We're gonna lay out some next steps in the next day or two.
Email.
Yep, absolutely. Of course, absolutely.
You handed in 80,000 signatures.
80,000 signatures.
Were those all gathered online?
All those signatures were gathered online.
Okay. How many are Ohioans in that?
About 15,000 are from Ohio.
15 of the 80,000.
Yes, 15 of the 80,000.
Did you verify any? Did you do anything to verify the signatures?
We do a number of things to verify. When we have people enter, they have to enter their zip code. They've generally been part of these organizations for a number of years, have signed other petitions. They're not new to sort of standing up with these organizations. And so these have been long-time members of Color of Change, MoveOn.org, Change.org. They're not sort of new members, and they only really want to take actions in places where they live.
Okay. And what specifically did the petitions ask?
The petition asks to demand to fully restore early voting. And so this was before the court made its decision around extending a certain aspect of early voting. Our petition is much more expansive and calls for weekend voting. And so we're continuing to keep the pressure on the Secretary of State to not just deal with what the courts have said, but to expand the full range of early voting.
So you want all the weekends back, including the last 3 days?
All the weekends, including the last 3 days. These are critical for folks in this state, and they'll also deal with the fact that, for folks who voted in this state back in 2004, they saw just how ill-prepared this system was to deal with the fact that people were wrapped around in lines. And we know, particularly in black communities where folks, are working sometimes 2 or 3 jobs, where people have, kids to take care of, and, being able to access the polls is something that people need, to be able to do.
The other side of this says, hey, look, we're sending an absentee ballot application to every registered voter in the state. All they have to do is mail it in, get their ballot, mail it back in. It's easy. Why can't people do that?
Changing the rules a couple of months before the election, the rules that have been in place since 2005, the rules that have led many people to be able to go to the polls, is electioneering at the last minute. Now, if the Secretary of State wanted to have a longer-term conversation, a public debate around the election rules, he could have had that months or years ago, or the state could have had it. But this is happening at the last minute, particularly with the intended goal of keeping certain Americans from the polls. And we're too good of a democracy to be able to be doing that. And we shouldn't be doing that.
Is there a problem with mail-in absentee ballots? I mean, why do people mistrust those?
Here's the challenge we have with mail-in absentee ballots. Is that we know that the addresses in the system aren't always accurate. We know that in the last couple of years with the housing crisis, and particularly the way it's hit black communities, that addresses might not be absolutely correct. And the fact of the matter is that people want to be able to show up to the polls and cast their ballot. And since 2005, this state has done that. And now at the last minute, to change the rules in the last minute is the very type of thing that has continued to happen to black Americans in this country throughout our ability to vote. Throughout Jim Crow, it was all about changing the rules at the last minute, not having a fair, open, and accurate system, and making the rules murky so that certain folks can sort of have their way.